Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Trying something a little bit different today. Just everyday dose. Just everyday dose. No other ingredients, no coconut oil, no vitamins, no protein powder, just pure coffee-ish sort of type thing. But today is Friday, everyone. And we know what that means. One more day, one more opportunity during the week when most people work, one more opportunity to get it right, to make something happen, to make something positive happen. Right, really. Okay, so today is day 5 of week 1. Day 5 of week 1. And yeah, not too shabby. Day 5, week 1, in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Our overview and orientation. The TED Talk for today is Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, one of my favorites. And that was going to be the meme of today, Man's Search for Meaning. But, skipping ahead, we changed it to Daily Stoic theme today of, where is it? Wait for it. Keep going. It's about athletics, how Stoics view athletics. You're competing against yourself. Keep going with virtue. Keep going with virtue. Not really competing against other people. You're competing against yourself. Doing the best you can do. Not so that way, where do we go? Where are we? So you're just trying to compete against yourself to do a little bit better, a lot better, something, trying to do it, but with virtue. So you're a good, honest competitor. That's in athletics. Probably in life. If you're in war, no. Objective is winning, not playing fair. Winning. Okay, but we're not talking about that. We are talking about life, getting ahead in life. Keep going with virtue. Now, what if you're on a relay team? What if you've got other people? Well, you don't leave them hanging. Don't leave them hanging. Show up. Don't have an attitude of, well, it's over. What's the point of trying? By the time they give me the baton, we've already lost, or our team is so many points behind. Why risk getting hurt? Let's just chalk this up as a loss. Keep going with virtue. All right, now what else we got? What else do we have on our hit parade, Johnny? Let's see. Advice from an 80-year-old. Okay, who stole the advice from an 80-year-old? Oh, there it is. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. Aha! So if we take this back to our metaphor, or our theme meme, are talking about you're on a team, You're not going to win. You got somebody on your team that sucks. You think about getting on a different team. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. Maybe the person will get better. Maybe they'll get good enough. We don't know. Don't give up on people. Righty. Okay. What else we got? Seth Godin. What does Seth tell us? Say time travel. We can't change the past, but the future might be up to us. It might be best to daydream about what might be, not what already happened. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Effing-lutely. I have to say effing, and then I have to spell EFFING for our Protestant brothers who feel that God's feelings will be hurt by using profanity. So it's EFFING, effing. Absolutely effing right. Whereas our Jesuit brothers would just say the word because that's what has the impact. Effing is clever if you think it's F-ing. That's like, okay, well, you don't have the guts to say it, or you're too polite and polite company. It's not really appropriate to say words when you are in, so just say effing, people can fill in the blanks, like the N word. Now, people who are not to that level will say, well, I'm saying effing, that's a EFFING, so I'm escaping it altogether. But in reality, it's all the same. Doesn't matter if you say the word, you abbreviate the word, you try to be too clever by half to try to turn it into another word. I didn't really say that. I said effing. EFFING. Is God really going to make the distinction? Probably not. And it just doesn't matter. And it's probably more effective if you just say the same thing. At least that's what I learned in law school. It might be best to daydream about what might be, not what already happened, which reminds me of that trip. I drove the people to Vegas last week, and all they talked about was the past, complaining about the past, or bragging about the past, not talking about the future. Time travel to the past. Okay, that was a good one. Thank you, Seth Goat. All righty then. No Donna sightings, or Diana sightings. No Diana sightings for the last week. I wonder what's up with that. What is up with that? What else? Okay, let's look at our hit parade, and then we're going to talk about Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Let's see, Living Good cucumber. I have taken Dr. Living Good's advice. I bought 3 cucumbers, have them at night, so I don't get cravings to have something different. Yep. Yes, sorry, Bob. Darren Hardy. 6 ways to gauge your real market worth. That was a good one this morning. Jordan Peterson, make your life better. So the question is, what are the things that you would do that you could do? No. What are the things that you could do that you actually would do to make your life better? What are some of the things that you could do that you would do? So it could be like, well, I could do 30 push-ups a day. In fact, I think I might do that because the number is like, if you do 30 push-ups a day, that's 19,000 per year. What is that number actually? See how close I was to remembering it. See how the old brain is working. 365 times 30. Oh, well, I sort of got it close. The numbers were in there. It's not 19,000, it's 10,950. 10,000 push-ups a year. Yeah, that's something not bad. Maybe we should do that. Maybe start with 10. 10, 3650. Yeah, that should have been easier to do. All right. So, Darren Hardy, Jordan Peterson, how to make your life better. What are the things that you could do that you would do to make your life better? So for a lot of people, yeah, I could stop smoking. I could start working out. I could start eating better. Jordan Peterson starts with the that you would actually do. Don't leave it at what could you do. What could you do that you actually would do? Oops. I didn't put it in here. Share, copy, bonk, go down here. Okay, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. How much time do we have? Okay, good. We've got some time. Viktor Frankl was I don't know if he was a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, psychologist. He's considered the third school, the third Viennese school after Freud, Jung, and Frankl. Frankl is unique in that he also was a Holocaust survivor. Went through the camps, went through some tough camps. And the experience made us all better, even those who don't know the name. So Viktor Frankl was a person of note before he went to the concentration camp. He had the ability to escape, but only him. He decided if his wife and parents could not go, he could not go. He couldn't bear the guilt. He could think of the guilt that he would have, couldn't bear it. So he too went. They all died. But he had some poignant stories of his wife while he was thinking of his wife while he was in camp. So he's in camp and he's a doctor. So he has a little bit more value than the typical person, more educated. But being he'd already written the first draft, or I don't know, he had already written about his logotherapy. He had a basis. So prison camp could be kind of like a test case, to observe, petri dish, to observe some of his things. And some of the things he noticed quickly were some people die and some people live. And he looked at the people who died. Why did they die? Some people got sick, but it was surprising that not that many people died from being sick. In fact, he talks about how they're kind of like sort of in a certain way, not healthier, but pretty healthy, like their teeth weren't falling out. They didn't have a lot of gum disease and things like that. And they were living in absolute filth and being starved, but they didn't die. Most people didn't die from that. If you couldn't work, you got sent over to that building. And there you were gassed and then buried or cremated, whatever. So some people died because they were of no value, or their cost did not exceed their value, and there was pressure to exterminate the people on the one hand, but try to get them to be doing work, slave labor, on the other. So Some people died. Some people got beaten to death or killed because they couldn't keep up, or they were agitators or something, or they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, whatever. Some people died. Some people gave up hope, and then one of the other things happened to them, so they died. They gave up hope, so they got beaten to death. They gave up hope, so they got sent to the showers. They gave up hope, and they got sick, and they died. So he could explain that. That's pretty straightforward. The interesting question is, why didn't everyone die? Why is it some people survived? That was the interesting case. That's where he spent a lot of his time. And ultimately, well, ultimately is not the right word. He also hit upon something Nietzsche said, which is, if you have a why, you can find a how. If you have a reason to live, you can find a way to live. And for Viktor Frankl, that was picturing a date in the future, imagining a date in the future, daydreaming, thinking about a date in the future when he's giving a presentation about what it's like to be where he is now. And I can agree, that's a powerful thing. If you look at your, at least for me, so some of the things I do is for resilience training, is I imagine this hardship as a chapter in my life, and I think in the future, how will I look back on this today? Knowing that I don't know how, but somehow I'm going to survive this. I'm going to be alive when I come out. Might not be better, might be much worse in many ways, financially, reputation. Those are the primary two ways. Might not come out better, but in the future, when I look back on this, how will it appear to me? And thus, what can I do now so that in the future, when I look back on this, kind of a phenomenological sort of thing, when I look back on this, I can say, yeah, okay, well, oops, good intentions, right thing, it just didn't work out, but I was going forward in good faith. So that's the thing that kept Viktor Frankl moving, was thinking of a day in the future when he'd be giving a presentation about what it was like today. He gives an example of one time he found himself getting a little tiny bit of extra sausage. So these are people that are worked hard in rough conditions, maybe having to walk through the snow with no boots, just their shoes or somebody else's shoes who died. That probably didn't fit well, maybe using a piece of wire as a shoestring. Anyway, he got a little bit of extra sausage in his 1,000 calorie or probably 400 calorie soup. And he thought, what should I do with this piece of sausage? I could eat it. I could save it. I could trade it. I could trade it for something like a cigarette that I could smoke, or trade for something else. I could trade it for a piece of wire for my shoe. And he kept thinking of all of the things that he could do because he had this extra piece of sausage. And rather than feeling good about it, he felt bad about it. He didn't feel good about it because now he had to figure out what is the best choice to do. And I don't remember what he chose, and I don't know that he said what he chose to do about it. That wasn't the point. The point was, at that time, something good happened, but he couldn't really find the good in it. All he could find was, ugh. The good came when he hit upon one of his key ideas, which is, other people can take anything from you except for how you choose to respond. That is always within our control. It's always within our control to decide how we are going to respond to events that happen around us. And so for him, another way moving forward was to have this belief that it's the Nazi army, the German army against me. They are trying to break me, emotionally, mentally break me, spiritually break me, the whole German army. And I am going to fight that. I am not going to let them win. I'm not going to let them break me. So at the end of the day, as he's pulling himself up the step into the barracks, the foul smelling, filthy barracks, so he's pulling himself in, bone tired, and he crosses the threshold. He can have victory that one more day they couldn't break me. And with that, we will say Shivas and Shalom. Thank you for being here, Bonk.